to my house and he brought a queen bee, and that queen bee was a terrible bee, I suppose. It left my house and went somewhere else. And I was very disappointed because I was trying to harvest honey, but there was nothing there, not even a single bee at that place. But a couple of days ago, as I was watering my garden, suddenly something came, like with a buzzing sound, and stung me right on my lip. That was a stinging reminder, honestly. This man, instead of sending a queen bee, had sent a wasp instead. Okay. It was terrible. The pain was unbearable. That day, I had to, get the signature from the principal's office for my PhD candidate. And, I had to cover my face like that. It was very embarrassing, a very embarrassing moment, and I tried to. So that was the bee and the honeybee episode of the wasp, like Swift Yard with the spider and the bee episode. So we celebrate with countless memories. Like one acronym I thought of, maybe M would stand for magnanimous or magnanimity. She was a very generous person. Very generous person. I have many students coming forward and say, "Mom helped me so much to pay my fees, this fees." I was greatly moved. And not just that, in the department, whenever we have, some program, we'll be so excited because, Ma'am's cake will be there. And not just cakes, like so many things. And recently, when she, threw a party in her house, there was so much on the table, so much spread, I couldn't, I don't want to say that, we enjoyed that, and we were gifted with so many things. One thing that comes to my mind is, she has more than 24 hours in a day. And she visits people. When my child was born, she visited me. I was in St. Thomas Mount. That was many years ago, many years ago. I do not know whether you remember that. She came with her husband, Mr. Rajan, right? She was egalitarian, yes. So when I went around hunting for some details, they said, Ma'am is such a person that she would involve every one of us in the department, be it the syllabus change, revamping, or whatever. It's very egalitarian. K, kind-hearted. Okay, the students would vouch for that. Maybe my Meghala would have a G in that. She's very generous. Okay, so I include that in the acronym. And A, altruistic. She's very altruistic. Selfless concern for the welfare of others. And L, that's the secret ingredient that she adds in the cake that she prepares every time. That's love, right? So so many things I could go on and on, but I've given that in that felicitation. Maybe don't miss that.
I mean, there's just so much to say about ma'am, and most of the points are taken, especially all the adjectives to describe her goodness. But I think something, if I need to talk about her as my teacher and as my head of the department, is it's very important for a leader to have emotional intelligence. And I think that is something ma'am has at a stellar level, knowing when to say what to whom. And that is something I really appreciate her for, especially during terrible pandemic years that we went through. It was a war against Corona, but we all had our own battlefields at home. We had traumatic experiences at home. But ma'am was, she was just there as that silent pillar to support each of us. And I've always felt she's given us the freedom, not only to always do what we want to do, but freedom is also about, not doing things that you don't want to do. So in that way, she brings us together, she leverages our strengths, and she's very positive, like to an extent where sometimes we're like, how can you still smile? And then there's that smile. And for me personally, when I went through a very dark phase of my life after the accident, during my recovery stage, it was during those times, ma'am would just send a message or just something on WhatsApp or something, some words of hers would come back to me. And it would mean so much to me. She is somebody who comes to ground zero. It's not just when she says, okay, we'll pray about this, I'll pray for you. She'll be there. She'll be there to pray with you. And she'll be there to, she'll offer like a list of solutions. And I'm like, I can't even think of one. I'm so clouded with the problem, I can't even think of one. How are you giving me a list? And once you get out of that frustrated mood and you actually listen to what ma'am is telling you, that positivity brings so much meaning into your life, and that's something that I'm very, very grateful, to her for. She's a phenomenal woman, an exemplary person. Her classes, and she's an alliterative queen. When she starts speaking, I don't know how somebody can, come up with so many alliterative words. And her love of her variants, flowers, patterns, and the way, she has this childish glee with which she celebrates somebody. When she identifies new, fresh talent, usually a senior person with her accomplishments, would deign down or condescendingly say something. But she will actually, with so much childish glee, she will celebrate that person. And whoever that is. So we've never had that senior, junior, or we've never felt that really. It was in a cadre somewhere, but ma'am made us feel like, more than a family. Done, but I think through and through, you're not just my PhD guide, she's also my life guide. So she's taught me so much, and especially she's taught me to embrace my mistakes, for which I'm, very, very grateful to her. Thank you so much, ma'am. There's so much to say, but I mean, my brain is like, my neurons are firing right now. I don't know which memory to pick on. But I can never do justice for all that you've done for us. But this is just a very small token of our appreciation and love for you and your family. So thank you so much.
Both Ann ma'am and Meghla ma'am joined in the year 1999, and that was the year I was doing my MPhil in this prestigious institution. So I was not taught by both of them. But then, in the year 2004, when I joined, my association with Meghla ma'am is for 2 decades, from 2004 up to 2024. I'll go year-wise. When I joined the department, Dr. Alexander Mantramurthy was the... Don't worry, I'm not taking this time. When I joined Madras Christian College, Dr. Alexander Mantramurthy was the principal of Madras Christian College. And 2005, this was the year 2005, all of us, the entire college was confused as to who would be the next principal, because there were many contestants for the post of the principal. Dr. Kadaksham Sundarraj from the Department of Zoology, Dr. Moses Michael Faraday from the Department of Tamil, Dr. Cornelius from the Department of Mathematics. So till the end, we were unable to guess as to who would become the principal. One fine morning, in the year 2005, Meghla ma'am just walked into the department. I was sitting next to Ann ma'am. Those days, okay, I was sitting next to Ann ma'am, the place where John is sitting right now. So she immediately walked in, and of course there were other senior faculty members, her own teachers there. But unmindful of all that, she came and told me, she came and spoke to me and she said, David, do you know who's the next principal? Dr. V.J. Philip is the next principal of Madras Christian College. And only then she went to the others and she spoke. Now why I'm trying to tell you this is that I had just joined, but the kind of importance that I was given, I was really happy about that. And then she has been a part of everything that happened in my life. My joy, happiness, pain, sufferings, kind-hearted, as Sir rightly said. Who can forget the way she took care of Dr. Shanti Manuel, the principal of Lady Doe College, towards the end of her life, last days of her life. She ensured that Dr. Shanti Manuel gets a quality life.
Even for Center for Women's Studies, I know the efforts that you had put in, and so many new schemes you brought in, and things which are continued today, which means people knew that there is worth in what you have done. That is the reason why it is continued even today, Manna scheme particularly. And I think her perseverance, yes, we can do it, and we can do it together, and we have to do it, and we should do it, that too very pleasantly.
That dramatic way of talking in class, it made the class very interesting for us also. So that is the first thing I would love to say about ma'am. And two, as the head of the department, she's been very, very supportive. So that's again something which I would like to say. She always had our back as a department. She never let us down before any other authority. This I've noticed when the former principal, Dr. Alexander J. Stassen, as well as the current principal, it's always the department first, the people in the department. She never spoke anything wrong about us. She always supported us before the other authorities. So that's something I really admire in her. I will always respect her for that, because as the head, she knew that she has to have us as a priority. She has to support us. And that is something I really admire.
Bertrand Russell, education and discipline. There is some quality that he says that is, he talks about moral qualities and intellectual qualities, and after that he says something that's beyond those two also, the joy and zest of life. I think that we can see in ma'am.
Ma'am is very strong, but I've never seen her breaking others. She is firm, but never stubborn. Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Mekla is the first lady to break the male bastion of the department. And she is the first lady to head the department. So happy to have Dr. Mekla as the head of the department. And what I would miss is a smile and a high-pitched laughter, right? And we've been missing that. She was very meticulous in whatever she did. And during her days, she took up such a stupendous task, revamping the syllabus, UG and PG syllabus. Like it was on the pipeline for a very long time, but it could really call for someone who would give impetus to the whole, movement.
At times we don't pick the call. At any time you call her, she picks the call, and even if she's in the midst of a meeting, she tells us, Anna, I'm at a meeting, I'll call you later. And she makes it a point that she calls back again. Many of us, we don't call back again, sir. Even including myself, I put it off. And then the second thing, we were all talking about how there's this quality of giving is in her, inherent in her. Of course, it is her legacy. But then she doesn't wait for an acknowledgement, or she refuses to accept that gratitude also. You thank her, she says, most of us, we wait for approval, sir. You do a small thing, even myself, I do a small thing, I wait for an acknowledgement. And the second thing that I observed about her is this. She appreciates and approves of all our little things. ஏதாவது ஒரு அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் கரெக்டாக போட்டுட்டோன்னா மேம் வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் போட்டுருவாங்க. அப்படின்னா கிரேட் திரும்பி சொல்லுவாங்க, அம்மா உங்கள் மேம்க்கு வேறு வேலையே இல்லைம்மா, எப்போ பார்த்தாலும் நான் கிரேட்னு சொல்கிறாங்க, நீ ஒன்றுமே பண்ணல.
She would talk with us the exact thing that we need for that moment. Okay, even we would have not done our work well, something like that. She will always be positive. She'll always encourage. She'll say, no, the best is yet to come from you. She'll say, you are even, you can do it. You have the skills. Please do it.
I'm really happy to take this opportunity to thank you, ma'am. It was through ma'am that I joined this institution in 2008 on an ad hoc basis. And yeah, the first thing I remember is ma'am's smile taking me through the corridor where I met Jay's ma'am. And since then, it's almost been like a mother persona for me. And as a part of this CWS, what I really thank you, ma'am, is for all the opportunities that you've given me. Any even small discussion there'll be about, for example, what programs we'll have, then ma'am will say, why don't you sing? That was the first time I started involving myself. I didn't involve myself for almost 2 or 3 years in any of the college activities. It was through ma'am that I slowly started involving in many opportunities. So I really thank you for the opportunities that you've given, ma'am. And throughout your tenure as the head of the department as well, ma'am, as some of you have shared, ma'am ensures that every one of us are given opportunity in all of the areas.